Alrighty, welcome to Otis. I'm J.W. Oker, and today I'm going to go see something called the Witch Caves. I am in Ashland Town Forest in the town of Ashland in Massachusetts, and I'm here to see a site related to the Salem witch trials. Now, Ashland is about 50 miles away from Salem, so pretty far away for it to be connected to the Salem trials. But that was the point. This was an area that some of the families in Salem fled to. Now, there's a couple things that make this story really interesting. One is this area they fled to was owned by Thomas Danforth, who was a magistrate, a judge during the Salem witch trials. But he was one of the good guys. He's one of the guys that thought the whole trials were a farce, thought that spectral evidence was a completely ridiculous thing to be used in a trial proceedings, and was one of the men who was responsible for kind of ending the trials eventually. So the idea might be, or is, that he helped these people flee, told them where to go, and gave them some land to settle on. Another interesting part of this story is that one of those people fleeing was Sarah Cloyce. Sarah Cloyce was accused of being a witch and imprisoned, and actually had to break out of prison or jail to get here. She had two sisters, Mary Easty and Rebecca Nurse, Freudian, who actually were hanged for being witches. They were two of the 19 hanging victims of the Salem witch trials. So Sarah Cloyce barely escaped, and probably otherwise would have ended up at the end of a noose on Gallows Hill. So these refugees from the Salem witch trials had to set up a home. They set up an area called, fittingly enough, Salem's End. And while they were setting up homes, building them, clearing land, they had to stay somewhere. So the story goes is they stayed in caves nearby. Caves that are actually still here, or at least what's left of the caves. And that's what we're going to find today in Ashland Town Forest. So here I am at the Witch Caves in Ashland Town Forest. These days, they aren't really caves. They're basically a giant pile of rock. Over the centuries, they've just collapsed on themselves. But once upon a time, refugees from one of the most famous tragedies in the history of the country sheltered here. So the funny part about the Witch Caves, I just walked like 2 miles to come see, is that they are in somebody's backyard. And there you go, the Witch Caves. Neither caves, nor really witches, but still a cool name. Cool site, cool connection to history. That's all I got, it's a bunch of rocks. Oh, and by the way, the house that Sarah Cloyce traded her cave in for is still around today on Salem and Road.